Assalamu alaikum, this is Maria Zulfikar welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. With two proposals, NCC submits implementation of July Charter to Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. Armed Ansar member to be deployed for presiding officers' security in next national polls, says Home Advisor. Delegation of Jamaat-e-Islami holds meeting with Election Commission, submits 18-point proposal for ensuring free, fair and neutral national election. Top 10 round of Notun Kuri to end tomorrow. Israeli drone attack kills 2 despite ceasefire in Gaza. And Bangladesh under-19 team secure 5-run victory against Afghanistan in first of 5-match ODI series in Bogora. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The National Consensus Commission has submitted recommendations on the implementation of the July National Charter to the Chief Advisor of the Interim Government, Professor Muhammad Yunus. The recommendations were formally handed over to the Chief Advisor in the presence of the members of the Council of Advisors at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. Members of the National Consensus Commission were present at the time. On the occasion, Chief Advisor Professor Yunus said the proper implementation of the July National Charter will help free the nation from the burdens of its past and guide it to move forward.
আমরা শুরু করেছিলাম অভ্যুত্থান, তারপরে সবচেয়ে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ অধ্যায় ছিল জুলাই ঘোষণা। জুলাই ঘোষণার পরে জুলাই সনদ, আজকে আরেকটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ দিন, এই জুলাই সনদের বাস্তবায়নের প্রক্রিয়া। এটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা বিষয়। আমরা এটা ঐতিহাসিক পরিবর্তন, এটার বাস্তবায়নের প্রক্রিয়াটা যদি আমরা সঠিকভাবে পালন করতে পারি, কাজ এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারি, তাহলে বাংলাদেশ অতীত থেকে মুক্ত হয়ে যাবে। এটি হলো বিষয়। আমরা সেই অতীত থেকে মুক্ত হতে চাই, নতুনভাবে বাংলাদেশ গড়ার কাছে নিযুক্ত হতে চাই। সেটার পথ দেখাবে আমাদের এই সনদের বাস্তবায়ন কিভাবে হবে তার উপর।
The National Consensus Commission has presented 2 proposals, including an alternative proposal for the implementation of the July National Charter. Vice Chairman of the National Consensus Commission, Professor Ali Riaz, said this while briefing to journalists at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital today. He said that the National Consensus Commission has recommended issuing a July National Charter 2025 order providing the legal basis and implementation framework for 48 constitution-related matters. Under this order, the government will organize a public referendum. Professor Ali Riaz said the recommendations are divided into 3 parts, and those matters not related to the Constitution have been recommended for implementation through ordinances.
আইনি ভিত্তি প্রদান বাস্তবায়নের রূপরেখা নির্দেশ করার জন্য রাজনৈতিক দলগুলোর অনুরোধের প্রেক্ষাপটে আমরা একটি বিশেষজ্ঞ দলের সাহায্য নিয়েছি, যাতে অন্তর্ভুক্ত ছিলেন 2 জন সাবেক বিচারপতি, 3 জন আইনজীবী এবং 1 জন আইনের শিক্ষক। রাজনৈতিক দলগুলোর মতামত, বিশেষজ্ঞদের মতামত, আমাদের কমিশনের সম্মানিত সদস্যদের অভিজ্ঞতা এবং আন্তরিকতার প্রেক্ষাপটে আমরা সুপারিশগুলো তৈরি করেছি। জুলাই জাতীয় সনদে অন্তর্ভুক্ত সুপারিশগুলোকে সরকার কিভাবে বাস্তবায়িত করতে পারে সেজন্য আমরা সুপারিশ দিয়েছি। প্রথমটি হচ্ছে, যে সকল বিষয়ে সাংবিধানিক বিষয় সংশ্লিষ্ট নয় সে সমস্ত বিষয়ে সরকার যেগুলো অধ্যাদেশের মাধ্যমে যা বাস্তবায়ন করতে পারেন সেটা যেন অবিলম্বে সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে সে সমস্ত বিষয় বাস্তবায়িত করা হয়। দ্বিতীয় বিষয়টি হচ্ছে, এর মধ্যে সুপারিশের অনেক কিছুই আছে যেগুলো সরকারি নির্দেশ এমনকি অফিস অর্ডার দিয়েও বাস্তবায়ন করা সম্ভব, সেগুলো যেন সরকার দ্রুততার সঙ্গে বাস্তবায়ন করেন। এই সংবিধান সংশ্লিষ্ট বিষয়গুলোকে বাস্তবায়নের একটি আইনি ভিত্তি প্রদান এবং বাস্তবায়নের পথ নির্দেশ করার জন্য আমরা আমাদের তৃতীয় সুপারিশে কিভাবে এগুলোকে বাস্তবায়নের পথে অগ্রসর হওয়া যায় তার সুপারিশ করেছি।
The International Crimes Tribunal has set November 2 as the date to deliver its order on the framing of charges against Mahbubul Alam Hanif and 3 others in a crimes against humanity case filed over the killing of 6 people, as well as for conspiracy and incitement during the July movement in Kushtia. Additionally, the tribunal has also fixed November 2 for its order on 8 charges, including 7 murders against Hassanul Haq Inu in another crimes against humanity case related to incidents in Kushtia. The 3-member judicial panel of International Crimes Tribunal 2, headed by Justice Nozrul Islam Chaudhry, issued these 2 orders today after completing the hearing. The other 2 members of the tribunal are retired District and Sessions Judge Muhammad Monjarul Bashir and District and Sessions Judge Nur Muhammad Shahriar Kabir. Earlier yesterday, the prosecution completed its hearing on the formal charges against Mahbubul Alam Hanif and 3 others. Meanwhile, the prosecution filed 8 charges against Hassanul Haq Inu for incitement, conspiracy, murder, use of deadly weapons against protesters, and supporting repressive tactics at different stages of the July uprising. A total of 20 witnesses have been listed in the case, with Hassanul Haq Inu being the sole accused. Earlier in the morning, Hassanul Haq Inu was produced before the tribunal. Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry has said an Ansar member will be deployed with arms for the security of each presiding officer in the upcoming national elections. He made the remarks today while handing over 31 vehicles to the transport sector financed by the Ansar Welfare Trust. The handover ceremony was held at the Ansar headquarters in the capital. Director General of Bangladesh Ansar and Village Defense Party Abdul Muttalib Sajjad Mahmood and other senior officials of the force were present at the ceremony. The Home Advisor said law enforcement agencies remain vigilant in recovering illegal firearms and will continue their efforts in the future. A 7-member delegation of Jamaat-e-Islami led by the party's Secretary General Mia Ghulam Parwar held a meeting with the Election Commission today. The meeting took place this morning at the Election Commission building in Dhaka. Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin and other election commissioners were present during the meeting. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami has submitted an 18-point proposal to the Election Commission with the aim of ensuring a free, fair and neutral national election. Fisheries and Livestock Advisor Farida Akhtar said gazetted rules for the Halda River need to be updated for implementation of various development activities in the Halda River's natural fish breeding ground in Chattogram. She said this while speaking as the chief guest at the 15th meeting of the Fisheries Heritage Implementation Supervision Committee held at the conference room of the Circuit House in the city today. The advisor called for measures to eliminate tobacco cultivation along the Halda River and urged the Ministry of Agriculture to collaborate on providing alternative livelihood options for affected farmers. Chattogram Divisional Commissioner Dr. Muhammad Ziauddin chaired the meeting. Chattogram City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain, Chattogram Port Authority Chairman Rear Admiral SM Monir Zaman and Deputy Commissioner of Chattogram Saiful Islam also spoke at the event as special guest. Meanwhile, Fisheries Advisor Farida Akhtar attended the closing ceremony of the 17th International Scientific Conference of Chittagong Veterinary and Animal Sciences University in the afternoon. Vice Chancellor of the University Professor Dr. Lutfur Rahman presided over the conference. Among others, Vice Chancellor of Chittagong Medical University, Professor Dr. Omar Farooq Yusuf delivered the speeches. In this three-day scientific conference, local and foreign researchers and scientists presented 160 research papers. This year's 7 sub-themes were discussed in the conference. These include animal and poultry management, blue economy, food security and processing, livestock development through genetic tools, healthcare of pets and wildlife, and health system and research innovation. The top 10 round of Notunkuri is nearing its end. After nationwide selection and final screening, 279 contestants have made it to the main stage this year. On the 5th day, competitions are being held in 3 categories, which are comedy, folk music and hamdanat. A total of 58 contestants participated on this day. The top 10 round will continue till October 29. From here, 5 contestants from each category will be selected to take part in the grooming and final rounds. The judges are deeply impressed by the outstanding performances of their children and teenagers, saying that marking their performance has become quite challenging. The top 10 round of Notunkuri will continue for 6 consecutive days, out of which the names of those advancing to the grooming round will be announced. Now, international news. Hamas has handed over the remains of another deceased captive as the Palestinian group comes under increasing pressure from Israel to retrieve and return the 12 remaining bodies. Despite a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, an Israeli drone attack near the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis has killed at least 2 people, according to Nasser Hospital, and Palestinians are still struggling to find basic essentials as Israel continues to throttle aid entering the Strip. Palestinians in Gaza are burying dozens of bodies that Israel returned in exchange for the remains of Israeli captives. Many are unrecognizable and displaying signs of torture and mutilation. Israel will not allow Turkish soldiers to take part in an international force. The US has proposed to oversee the ceasefire in Gaza, Israel's top diplomat says. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 68,527 people and wounded 170,395 since it began in October 2023. A total of 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led attacks, and about 200 were taken captive. United States President Donald Trump has met Japan's first female Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi in Tokyo, welcoming her pledge to accelerate a military buildup and signing deals on trade and critical minerals. Trump on Tuesday lavished praise on Takaichi, saying she would be a great leader, while the Prime Minister said she planned to nominate the US President for a Nobel Peace Prize. According to the White House, Takaichi, a close ally of Trump's friend and golfing partner, late Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, is also expected to offer a package of US investments under a $550 billion deal agreed on this year, the Reuters news agency reported. This included shipbuilding and increased purchases of US soybeans, natural gas, and pickup trucks, the agency reported, citing sources familiar with the talks. China and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations (ASEAN) have upgraded their free trade agreement as trade between the two regions continues to rise in the shadow of United States President Donald Trump's trade war. The trade pact was signed on the sidelines of the 47th ASEAN Summit in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday, in a ceremony witnessed by Chinese Premier Li Qiang and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. The 3.0 version of the deal will broaden collaboration on infrastructure, digital and green transition, trade facilitation, and people-to-people exchanges, according to China's State Council. It builds on the region's first free trade pact with China, which came into force in 2010. The 11-member ASEAN and China have become each other's largest trade partners in recent years. Trade between China and ASEAN has already hit $785 billion in the 9 months of 2025, up 9.6% year-on-year. Much of this trade reflects integrated manufacturing supply chains, but it also increasingly includes finished goods from China that are destined for Southeast Asian consumers.